United States was a bustling, vigorous nation in the first decades of the 20th century. The airplane ushered in the age of speed, and the young nation was teaching the world new manufacturing techniques, the assembly line. This was America in 1913, when 17-year-old Rudolph Valentino arrived from Italy. A new industry flickered into being, the motion picture. Audiences created new heroes, movie stars. Bronco Billy Anderson. William S. Hart, the first two-gun superhero. The Keystone Cop. Movie heroes were all cast from the same mold. All-American boys like Charles Ray. Bashful and modest, he was the boy next door, as wholesome as apple pie. And there was the dashing, clean-cut Wallace Reed. Famed director D.W. Griffith had Richard Barthelmess as his protege. A perennial juvenile with Lillian Gish. Movie glamour meant Gloria Swanson. Washbuckling was Douglas Fairbanks. America's sweetheart, Mary Pickford. King of them all was that beloved tramp, Charlie Chaplin. Everything he touched turned to dough. Motion picture studios replaced the orange groves of Hollywood. This was the scene as the young man of 22 arrived and was typed immediately as a Latin villain. Behind that monocle is Rudolph Valentino. If not a gigolo, he was cast as a slouched-capped gangster. He was such a perfect villain, Hollywood wanted him in no other role. Valentino was featured as the most despicable of villains, with Clara Kimball Young. Valentino finally caught the eye of major producers. The hero of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse became a star. The picture was a box office success, but little credit was given the Latin hero. The producer was still blinded by the all-American boy type. However, another company thought Valentino worth a gamble and cast him in a new role, the Sheik, and a new word entered the language. Overnight, Valentino became a sensation. This was the new idol on the American scene. When Valentino grabbed Agnes Ayres and hissed, "Stop struggling, you little fool," 1,000,000 women shivered. This was a new kind of lovemaking, a romantic revolution. Social order was changing. What made it change? World War I had ended. Traveled soldiers brought home widened horizons and found that their womenfolk hadn't just sat by the fire, but had launched an offensive for equal rights. They wanted the vote, for one thing, and their demands were enough to make your hair curl. Never in any nation's history had the social patterns changed so sharply and quickly in so many ways. Bathing suits became shorter, and shorter, and shorter. And with them, bobbed hair and the Charleston and the black bottom. The birth of the Jazz Age was the birth of the Latin hero. In Blood and Sand, Valentino played a country boy who became the idol of the bull ring. Nita Naldi played the temptress. Blood and Sand became one of the most discussed pictures of the year. When the frustrated hero invited death before the raging bull, the movie audiences sat hypnotized. At At the bull's fatal charge, there were horrified cries, but the movie's realism made Valentino a bigger star than ever. In darkened theaters, women wept with Lila Lee, the dying matador's childhood sweetheart. Russia was the next background for this romantic swashbuckler in The Eagle. Valentino played a Russian Robin Hood who stole hearts as well as gold. In this movie, his heroine was Vilma Banksy, considered one of the most beautiful women on the screen. Valentino's pictures never stood still. Everything was action until it was time for the heroine to swoon in his arms. For the first time, the hitherto shy and retiring matinee idol began to live the life of storied Hollywood. He acquired Falcon's Lair, and this fabulous showplace became a social center. Here, Mae Murray was married to Prince Midavani. Twice divorced, Valentino's name was linked romantically to Pola Negras, among others. Against all advice, Valentino made a sequel to The Sheik in which he played a dual role, both father and son. Financed by Valentino himself, one of the first such independent productions, it was a smashing success. 1927. At the age of 30, Valentino came to New York for the opening of his new movie, The Son of the Sheik. Taken ill, he was dead within days. But his worshippers refused to relinquish their image. They stormed the funeral parlor where he lay in state for 3 days. 100,000 filed past the open coffin each day. Among the mourners and the curious was Pola Negra. In the years since his death, there have been many attempts to define the mysterious magnetism of this man, who in less than a decade had the world at his feet. Rudolph Valentino. His name, a legend.